Hey everybody, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel. Hope everybody's doing fine. Yeah, you're probably wondering what that is behind me. Okay, in the background, I usually have nothing in the background. Sometimes I do. That's with the green screen and all that. You guys know what it is. Well, guys, that's the future. That's the future. That's what's getting ready to take over. It's actually taking over right now. I'm not trying to sound like it's like a doomsday type of person or a like some kind of apocalyptic you know doomsday sayer, but this is what's going on. This is what I've been preaching about this whole time on the channel, about AI, about robotics, about the skilled trade shortage and all of that stuff. Right, it's happening right before your eyes if you open your eyes. Okay, the solution to the skilled trade shortage is to not depend on workers at all. That's their solution. And guess what? If you were them, you would probably do the same thing if this technology was available to you. So what's your job? Your job is to, um, if you can't beat them, join them. I hate to sound like that, but what I mean by that is you have to up level your skills. Okay, those are robots in that picture building stuff. Okay, guys, that's getting rid of a lot of jobs in the trades. I know I talk about the trades a lot and how you should get into the trades, but you also have to evolve with them. Okay, and good thing about it is they are evolving. As there's a lot, as you can see, there's a lot of technology that's available to you if you want to take advantage of this opportunity. But if you think you're just going to be swinging a hammer and that's going to last forever, obviously it's not. Look at what's going on. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. Okay. Let's see here. Where can I find this? Give me a second. Give me a second here. Okay, guys. So that right there is a Walmart being erected by AI, by robots. Okay. And let's see what it's all about. Walmart partnered with a construction company, okay, called Alquist 3D last year to build an almost 8,000 square foot addition to its store in Tennessee, a place called Athens, Tennessee, for online order pickup and delivery services. It is the largest 3D printed commercial structure in the U.S. And despite a bumpy start, a key proof of concept for the technology's commercial viability. In other words, it's a key proof of concept. Okay, so they're basically testing out this model here where they're building out a Walmart store with they're 3D printing it, and that's going to be the wave of the future. Okay, like I said, I've shouted from the rooftops about this because it's very quickly encroaching upon our society, right? And if you're, like I said, if you're in the trades, you gotta watch out. The trades are not protected, like I've been preaching this whole time. They, it's like they're listening to me and saying, "Well, I'll show you that the trades are not protected." And here we have it right here. Okay, so let's continue. Alquist, which is based in Greeley, Colorado, just announced it will now print more than a dozen new Walmart buildings, as well as buildings for other commercial retailers. Okay, so Walmart is the guinea pig. It's a test subject here, and this is what is arguably the largest scale commercial real estate deployment of this technology of 3D printing, which has mostly been used in residential construction so far. Okay, as part of the deal, one of the world's largest construction materials company called Sika, with a heavy focus on sustainability, will provide materials to this 3D printing company, Alquist, for all future 3D printed projects and licenses. This will streamline Alquist's national pipeline, lower material and freight costs, and accelerate development of more sustainable mixes for large-scale 3D printed construction, including the commercial projects rolling out with Walmart, according to Alquist. Okay, guys, this right here is letting you know that there's no turning back here. Once AI and once the robots get a hold of the industry, it's no turning back. It's going to be a whole new set of rules, right? A whole a whole new level of requirements um, of human beings to even be in the industry. Okay, because I think I talked about it in a few lives ago that the robots, they just direct the walls right now. Okay, they're not really installing. Well, I'll take that back. I think in some places they are installing electrical, plumbing, and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, right. This is going to require a new overhaul, right, when it comes to vocational education and teaching people how to what kind of trades that they need to get into and what they have to learn. Okay, it's going to be a whole new ball game. Okay, um, this collaboration positions Sika at the forefront of next generation construction, opening new markets and creating long-term growth opportunities. Okay, it is a clear turning point in CRE construction, which has been notoriously slow to modernize. The new technology has started to grow in the home building market, but has been far slower in commercial construction simply due to the size of the printers needed to create larger buildings. Okay, so now they got the size of the printers dialed in to be able to create these larger buildings. So pretty soon you'll probably see whole cities being built, being 3D printed. Cities like the skyline of New York or Los Angeles or some major city, it's going to be all 3D printed. I predict this is going to happen in the next 40 years, and that's stretching it, right? Okay, so this company called Alquist, which designs and builds. Sometimes every time I do a live, it's like, why does that particular person come riding by? I don't know. I got to time it better. Okay, so this company called Alquist, which designs and builds the larger scale printers as well as develops the code and software to operate them, started in the residential sector. Okay, it is now partnering with a large equipment rental dealer and a full service general contractor to scale the technology commercially nationwide. Doing so helps to lower the cost of materials as well as the labor, which needs to be both trained and local, according to Alquist. Okay, so the way to bring prices down for anything is to get volume, and as you get volume, you get the attention of suppliers. They see that it matters, and the more they make, the cheaper they can bring down the supply, bring their supply chain down. Okay, so yeah, they're really grinding this out and really making it happen out there, guys. I don't really know what to say about it. I mean, I'm just putting it in front of your face. I talk about it all the time. I'm just giving you guys proof right now that this is going on, and that a lot of trades are going to be replaced if you don't skill up, right? So because of the shortage and the gap, that's going to be a lot of people that won't have the requisite knowledge to even work in the industry, right? It's going to be taken over by these robots and AI, and the very few who have prepared themselves to even avail themselves of this opportunity. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so okay, so while the projects take far fewer workers, they need to be more highly trained than typical construction trades. Okay, Alquist, that company, partners with trade schools for its curriculum, introducing robotics and green materials. Yeah, this is why I say, the trades are no longer what they used to be. They're very high tech. It's a very high tech industry when you think about it. Okay, and robotics is going to be a required part of the curriculum. You never had to learn robotics, but this is probably going to be in schools now, at least trade schools. And so I think that's a good thing, right? Because a lot more kids who are more technically inclined and want to get into tech will now be attracted to the trades, because tech is really inundating a lot of these trades. And when you talk about sustainability and green materials, right, that's always been a big thing. It's been suppressed, but it's always been a big thing. That's also going to attract the more environmentally conscious individuals, right, that want to keep the environment clean and safe and all of that. So it's not all bad. You got some good things mixed in there. So anyway, what else does he say here? Callahan said that that has been more attractive to what has been a severely reduced construction labor market in recent years. Okay, you're not necessarily throwing rocks around up on a scaffolding, but using robotics in a safe, clean environment. We've seen a lot of what used to be traditional construction folks that kind of pushed back. They're now leaning in. Okay, so well, they really don't have a choice if they want a job, to be honest with you. All right, so they have now they're talking about competition. Anytime you talk about competition, that means it's growing, right? More people are getting into the field, more people are competing for those big contracts, and that's just another sign of an expanding industry. Okay, so there's another company, Icon Build, and that's the largest residential 3D printing technology company. It's also starting to dip its toes into commercial construction. It has completed a hotel project and is now in talks with potential commercial partners, including for construction of data centers. And we talked about that in earlier lives. With the rise of AI taking over everything, AI requires data centers to house all this data, and those things need to be built, right? And if there's a skilled trade shortage, oh well, we have 3D printers. We don't have to worry about people not wanting to come into the trades or whatever the reason is, right? That's no longer a worry, in my opinion, now that they have this, now that 3D printing has come so far. All right, so its forthcoming Titan printer will be able to handle those larger scale projects. I predict also that you'll see 3D printing probably getting a hold of other industries right now. One of those industries I can think of is the shipping industry, right? Building ships, right? Building ships, any large structures. Like I said, whole cities are probably going to be built with 3D printers. You're probably going to be driving by a construction site, and instead of seeing nothing but hard hats, you'll see a few of them, but you'll also see a large 3D printer probably in the middle of everything, putting everything up. Okay, that's probably what's coming out, and that is what's coming out of the pipe. It is here now, but you'll see it more just like you see driverless cars, say in my city, right? They're all over the place. 10 years ago, that wasn't even a thought, but now it's so common, you don't even think about it. Well, it's going to happen with 3D printing as well when it comes to these large scale, small scale projects and everything in between. Okay. All right. So what else here? Okay. So this company's completed a hotel and they're going to be working on data centers. I think once that's out in the world showing what it can do, okay, I'm quoting, verifying the cost estimations that we're making to customers, I think that'll probably open a lot of people's eyes, says the CEO of Icon. I think we should expect to see a lot of interest in alternative ways of construction, data centers, and other kinds of commercial buildings as well, or commercial things, according to this person here. But Ballard sees more headwinds than Callahan, okay, particularly when it comes to labor. He said data centers are already sucking up a lot of the labor in the market. He added that 3D printing for commercial buildings will have similar pressures as residential to build more affordably and more quickly relative to conventional construction methods. I assume he's talking about all the red tape and bureaucracy that needs to be navigated when you're trying to build something, right? Codes are going to have to change. Who knows what else is going to have to change when it comes to that side of things. I guess in certain areas you encounter more hurdles than others, and I assume that's what he's alluding to. That said, Ballard said next year Icon will be manufacturing at least one of the new Titan printers each month. Right? So in a year, they'll have 12 of these things out there building the new world, okay? Setting itself up to scale construction dramatically. Those printers will be able to create most types of industrial commercial buildings, although they are not ready for high rises, right? Okay, so they're not ready for high rises yet, but they will be, right? If we do what I expect that we're going to be able to do next year and show both on the revenue side, the cost side, and the technology advancement side, I think we'll grow over 300% next year, and we were already pretty busy this year. Okay, I think the world's going to start to say perhaps there are real opportunities to do better beyond the pilot scale. It's not stopping, guys. Just another form of technology that's here and it's not going anywhere, right? As long as there are human failings, human shortcomings, there's going to be some tech to fill the gap. And that's only going to expand to more and more types of tech. I predict 3D printing is going to expand into medicine even more, where, organs are going to be printed wholesale. And you're probably going to have people living a lot longer than they are now because they're going to be half cyborg, half human, right? They're probably going to print 3D eyeballs where you can see miles instead of just a foot away. I don't know. Who knows where this is going, but I predict that's probably what's going to happen. Okay. And get ready for a whole different world. Anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. Hope you got something out of it. Go ahead and get skilled up. Learn about what's going on. When I talk about the trades, this is what I'm talking about. Okay. It's not just about holding a drill or swinging a hammer anymore. It's about learning tech, learning robotics, learning AI, and preparing yourself for a very interesting future. It doesn't have to be a doomsday scenario for you. If you prepare yourself, prepare your kids. Once again, AI has already taken over the corporate levels, the higher echelons of the workforce, where you're not working as hard as, say, someone working with their hands. Those guys are getting cut out, right? Because AI can do everything now. AI can slap up a website in seconds. I was working on a project the other day with a platform, and it was just me. What used to cost thousands of dollars to put up a website or a landing page, not anymore. Okay, so even those guys, right? Anything having to do with graphic design, it's anyway. But now, as we see here, as I explained in this live, you have these guys back here building things. Okay, so it's only a matter of time before the conventional tradesperson is going to have to get on board or become obsolete. All right, that's what's happening. Anyway, guys, have a good night. Hope you got something out of it. Share and subscribe. Appreciate it. Have a good night.